Ready for the sound check here.
Checkmate
Mark,
two. This is White Rook, over.
We got you. Sound check is good. Johnny, give us your sound check.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4. We are live.
John, how
testing
about
1, 2, 3? We are live. Testing. How's my voice? Oh, something's wrong. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay, let's see. We're almost ready. Start here, boys.
We're ready. We're live, man. I'm seeing the screen.
Yeah, we're almost ready. Bro. We're almost ready, folks.
The mic is hot. Don't say anything stupid.
Yes. Okay. We're going to count down here. 3, 2, 1. And welcome into DroneNation for Monday, May 8th, 2023. And I actually have my voice back tonight from the COVID gave me more voice I've had for a month tonight. So we got a good show tonight, I think. We got some interesting stories. But on top of the show, I just want to send out thoughts and prayers go out for the people of Allen, Texas. It was a tragedy there this weekend. I don't want to get into details. This isn't the news show, but thoughts and prayers. And I kind of reached out to Mike Ray. I don't know how close he is to Allen, Texas, but I imagine it's somewhere in his hemisphere out there. So
yeah. But
on to lighter subjects here. I want to go around a panel tonight. Now, people are going to know, where is the world famous DeMarco Moore? DeMarco is on assignment tonight. He's doing some big drone investigation tonight, so he will not be joining us. But filling his large shoes is none other than Louisiana's top gun, Johnnie DroneFlyer. Welcome in, Johnny.
Thank you, Ron, Marcus, John Cuppi. Well, I thank y'all so much. Yeah, DeMarco's in. Maybe he's in Best Buy picking up the Avada.
That's top secret now, so we can't really say. But we want to thank Johnny for sitting in tonight, and our regular co-host Idaho Quadcopters with us tonight. Marcus, how are you doing,
sir? Yes, sir. Yeah, doing okay. I really wanted to fly today. I don't know if you guys heard it. We got a bunch of thunder and lightning going on outside right now. However, it was too windy today to fly. I wanted to get the Avada out again, and I did figure out. And John, I don't think I told you this, John. I figured out how to do an orbit with it. So, I'll turn around here so you can see it. But with the thumb, I sped up the rates on the little thumbstick here, and then you can tilt and and bank at the same time. So you're yawing and banking at the same time, and you can do those orbits. And I did it out at my favorite cell phone tower.
The one that caused you all those lost connections.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't realize that you could do that with it, so I'm gonna have to give that a shot next time I have it.
John, we're gonna have to call that move the Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're out there doing John say
the Idaho orbit.
Well, now
circling the potato.
Rod Hansen, Hot Rod in Daytona, told me that you can also do it with head tracking, which totally makes sense, right?
I saw that comment.
Yeah, I saw Rod say that. Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense.
John, have you tried the head tracking on the Avada yet?
I have. Yeah, it's pretty neat, and it never occurred to me to use that to basically do some orbiting with it. Yeah, nice. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So you'd keep the X on whatever you want to orbit, and then you'd keep the dot, the 0, the direction you wanted to go, right? Yeah.
Oh, the X is sort of like your what do we call that with the DJI camera drones? That's sort of your
kind of the reticle, I suppose.
Yeah. Cool.
I hadn't tried the head tracking yet.
I haven't either, but I want to.
Yeah.
So, but
it's neat.
Yeah, and our special guest tonight is none other than John Cuppi, all the way from Missouri.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me,
John.
What? How's things in Missouri?
The weather's been good to you?
No, actually, windy, but that's what you have a little tiny whoops to fly indoors. So I've been doing a lot of that actually.
Cool.
Yep. Feels like summer. We jumped from crappy spring right into summer. Also, I had to turn on my air conditioner.
You know what they call that? They call it the light switch. One
Yeah.
day it's winter, next day it's summer.
Yeah, no lie.
Yep, very
Same thing
similar.
here.
Very similar.
Yeah. So, and doing good in New Jersey. We've had some crappy weather, but it's rained a little less the past couple of days. I did actually get to fly 2 packs on the Avada today, John.
2 packs. Very good.
But not really, John, because I had the battery sat too long and they depleted down to like a 50% storage charge. So it was short pack.
Ron, I got a question. So
Yes.
since we have the Avada now, can we call our batteries packs? We're allowed to call them packs now.
Can we, John?
Yeah, you got to call it packs. You ripped a pack, Ron. That's what you did. You ripped a pack.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta get this lingo down now that we're
Absolutely.
real life FP. We're gonna call this FPV Nation in a little while. So So, but
No, it's actually great that you guys are all getting into FPV and having fun with the Avada. That's awesome.
Well, and we're gonna dig into that topic later on. It's on the agenda here. We're gonna go a little deeper in that. But okay, we have another special guest star tonight. He wasn't announced in the in the show notes here, but the DJI Pocket Pros joined us on set tonight.
Yeah, I see
that. This is something that's been all over Twitter and Facebook. We don't really think this is true. This is kind of just a joke here. Somebody has taken the Mavic 3 Pro camera and put it on what looks like a handheld gimbal. But, actually, people laugh at this thing, but I bet you if they put that out, people would buy it. Marcus?
Not me.
No? So you would buy the camera and a drone, but you won't buy the camera and a gimbal.
Yeah. No, that's probably it. I don't know. You know what? Truthfully, now that you mention it, Ron, I'd probably have to give it some thought because there might be some good uses for that. Really, now let's see. Let's think about this. You use your cell phone, and one of the cool things, I don't know about you, Ron, but on my iPhone, I use that telephoto all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't care whether it's digital or not digital. It still looks good, right?
Right.
Hey, Lon Denor said Johnny would buy it. There you go, Lon.
Let's get old Lon on the big screen here. And
No,
you know what, Marcus? What if you could buy just the gimbal and you could detach your Mavic 3 Pro camera and put it on this gimbal?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I guess.
I'm not selling you. I'm not, John. I'm not
That's a
selling.
lukewarm yes. That's for sure.
Well, there's a company that already did that. It was GoPro, and what they call their drone? The
Karma, the GoPro Karma.
DJI Karma.
Yeah.
And that went over like a lead balloon.
Well, especially when that battery fell out.
Well, that's the lead balloon part.
Yeah.
Though Johnny and Marcus, remember there were 3 or 4 Karma's taken off at the Florida drone meetup.
Yeah, that guy had 3 of them. Sure did.
Yeah, he had a fleet of them, John.
Yeah.
There was also the unique. Lon's talking about the unique Typhoon H. You could swap that. You could swap the camera on that. Yep.
That's true.
All these good ideas. DJI never got on board with that.
TJ had a Karma. Sure did.
Yeah. You ever hear Captain Ray talk about flying that with TJ?
Yeah.
I won't. I'll let Captain Ray tell the story.
You know what's funny at the South Florida drone meetup? We probably had, I don't know, a few $100,000 worth of drones, or maybe more than that. But the GoPro Karma took our picture, our group picture.
Yeah, it did. Well, with that GoPro camera had a wider angle, right?
Yeah.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Eddie Nunez.
Ron gets it. Ron knew what I said there.
So okay, we got rid of the new DJI Pocket Pro since it did go over too big tonight. So let's get into one of the number one stories, probably the week, the month, or whatever. Many folks who ordered the DJI Mavic 3 Pro, not Pocket 3 Pro, Mavic 3 Pro, and we have one in the pound site, have received notification that their drone has started to ship. Could we see these drones in consumers' hands this week? And we'll go right to Marcus since he actually has one ordered. He did get an update, I believe.
Yeah. Mine will be here tomorrow. So,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and we also got a message from Hot Rod in Daytona. His will also be coming tomorrow. So what that tells me is DJI said they said the 9th when you ordered, they said the night. So the night didn't turn out to be the day they shipped it. That was the arrival date. That's like old DJI. Years back when they used to give a date, that used to be the date you would get it, and that kind of fell to the wayside for a while. But maybe DJI is back on their groove now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun if UPS came early. If they came early enough in the day, dude here would be heading out to the canyon.
Now, Marcus, let me ask you a question.
Right?
Did you save some of your Mavic 3 batteries?
Hell yeah, I could have them charged up and ready.
Did you? Yeah, because did you save a charger?
Right.
So,
well, I gave DeMarco the charger that came with it, but I could certainly. Well, no, I can't. Can I? Because I need the. Oh no, yeah, I have the hub.
You got the little
hub, so yeah, I can do it.
hey, I want to thank Richard. Richard joined us tonight and gave us a nice super chat here. Thank you so much, Richard. One of our biggest supporters over here. Thank you.
Man, we better quit messing around. I'm going to start charging batteries, boys. You guys,
yeah. That is kind of neat, John. When you have it, you already have batteries at new drone rods, and you don't have to go through those hours of charging up batteries.
Just get it updated and take it out.
Firmware updates and go.
Yeah.
The real question is, will Marcus be changing his nickname now to Marcus Mavic 3 Pro Crawford?
I think so.
Think so?
I seriously doubt it. But...
Hey, John, I got a better one. How about Idaho Pro?
Idaho Pro. That's a good one.
Yeah, there you go.
Idaho?
Hey, we had
That's
Captain
an old
Ray
joke.
here.
That's an old joke.
Helping us.
Hey, we got to get Captain on the show pretty soon and have him tell us about that tornado that him and TJ survived down there in South Florida. About a week or so ago before Captain Ray came back.
Yeah, I know.
One morning.
Yeah, John, I know they had some rough weather in Missouri. I thought, but it wasn't close to you.
Yeah, not close to where I am. No, we get fairly lucky where I am. Honestly,
yeah. And I had reached out to you. I wasn't sure. I thought
I appreciated that.
Yeah,
I appreciated that.
Now, are you the tornado belt out there in Missouri?
Whoa. The whole show just lagged out, or was it just me?
That was just you.
Just me.
Yeah.
He brought up Missouri. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Right.
No, I don't live. I mean, yes, this is still considered tornado country, but more moderate risk.
Well, yeah, any risk, too much risk, but that's good. So anyhow, it's nice to see that these Mavic 3 Pros are arriving on time, on schedule. And it's going to be great to see, the people that actually paid for them get them out there and put them through their paces.
I'm already figured out how I'm going to show those 3 cameras too, Ron. I already got that figured out. Yeah, out there at the canyon. The Swan Falls Dam is out in the distance.
I love the dam. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to get up close and personal.
But you may not have to get that close with those zooms, right?
Well, that's my point. And then the Oahe Mountains are in the background, so maybe we can get some of that compression.
Say those mountains again, Marcus.
Oahe, and if that sounds like Hawaii,
I was going to say, are you in Hawaii now?
Yeah. No, it's no coincidence. Believe it or not. So those mountains, they're kind of in between Idaho and Oregon. And back in the days, there was a big silver and gold rush up there. And one of the miners called it the Hawaii Mountains, and then it became the Oahe Mountains, and that's why it sounds so similar.
Cool.
So I guess with them all arriving on time, Ron, there won't be any upcoming shows. Where's my Mavic 3 Pro, huh?
Man, I lost a lot of video opportunities, John.
I know. Think of all the weekend updates you guys could have had, like the FEMI and everything. I mean, God, those were the days, right?
Look,
bring the shortages back. You need content.
Rod in the chat with us. He says, "I have 3 batteries charged and ready to go."
Yeah, I see that.
Hey,
aftermarket charger.
Ted Bowman just corrected me here. He said a lot of the miners were Hawaiian. And so that's where Oahe comes from. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
And Ted goes up there all the time.
Idaho back in the old days.
Say again, Ron.
Can you imagine getting all the way from Hawaii to Idaho back in the old days? You must have been on a ship and a train and a.
No. Those Polynesians used to swim. Yeah.
They swam right from the Oregon coast all the way to Boise. Huh?
Yeah, that's it. Right up the Snake River.
Yeah, they're good swimmers. So okay, that's great news on that story. Again, I hope they all arrive tomorrow. I'm looking forward to see a bunch of Mavic 3 Pro video and whatever tests in my feed. I mean, as far as what we know, guys, the Mavic 3 Pro, as far as the airframe, it's virtually unchanged. It's all in the camera. So I think, basically it's a few less minutes flight time because the thing's bigger, but range and speed and all that are probably going to be, on par with the two Mavic 3s already out now.
A bigger thing is not a bad
not a bad thing at all. Right.
And I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I notice any differences in the way it flies or
If that hopefully when you fly into the wind, that gimbal, that heavy gimbal doesn't sink down on you.
Well, if it does, then I'll send it on back to DJI.
Or get a nice rubber band and hold it up.
Yeah.
They've been a lot of reviews, a lot of good reviews on that drone. Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, especially over that Snake River Canyon. Mark's got a great location to fly.
So Lon is saying he's predicting camera knocks, so we'll see. Well, Lon, I mean, surely Lon, you've anyway.
Yeah.
I'll leave that
alone. If you do need to return to DJI, Marcus, will you ask DJI support if they love you too?
Oh my God. Ultimate cringe moment right there, huh? Jeez.
Yeah.
So we better explain that, shouldn't we, John?
I figure most people would probably have seen it.
Yeah, I can tell Ron and Johnny have not.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Go ahead.
Well, our friend Ken Herron put up a video, and he literally has recorded conversations with DJI's support in both 2017 and today, and it happened to be the same individual that he talked to on the phone, but in both times he told the support person that he loved them and asked them to say that they loved him back.
And they wouldn't do it?
Yeah. No.
Watch the video.
That's about all we can say on that one.
That's about all there is to say on that one. Yeah, you got to see it to believe it.
Hey, did you see Eddie Nunes is saying Best Buy's not shipping? He posted his order with Best Buy and he's got no shipping notification. So it's a good thing you went with the mothership.
It still says pre-order on Best Buy as of today. Yeah.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's good information, Eddie.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to order from Best Buy because of the easy return policy.
Yeah, and I see Rod is telling us that he wants to try out the goggles with it. So
that
is possible.
Looking forward to seeing that video. Okay, we're going to go on to a story 3 here. We have another big drone coming out. I believe it's already out. I don't know the ordering, but the C-Fly Faith Mini drone. I believe this is the second version or something. I get so confused over the C-Fly products, but it's starting to ship for around $185 US. It has 4K video now. Alas, it's at 15 frames per second. And a 3-axis gimbal. It is cheaper. Is a cheaper alternative to the DJI Mini 2 SE and the Fimi Mini 2. Captain Drone has a video review up, and I posted it on the DroneNation Facebook group if you'd like to see the video. Now, he had a little trouble. Now it does offer 2.7K at 50 frames per second. So a place to hear. Thank you very much, Ken Hoffbauer. Thank you. It does offer better framing at 2.7, but he had a hard time shifting into 2.7. Has anybody else seen Captain Drone's video review of the Faith? Marcus,
I have not.
I have not.
I briefly skimmed it.
Oh,
so
John, good. I watched all like 15 minutes of it. John, what did you think of his review of it?
I mean, I just kind of
drone itself. You don't have to review.
I mean, it is what it is. It's the C-Fly Faith. What can I say? I'm not super impressed, man.
Oh, okay, so let's just start with the specs. At 15 frames per second, it's going to look like crap. I mean, it just is. But
of course, the DJI product doesn't even offer 4K. So That's still a bump up, right?
Well, having recently purchased the FIMI Mini version 2, X8 Mini version 2,
which does offer 4K.
Offers 4K at 30 frames per second.
Yes.
I will put that 2.7K on the Mini SE up against that video any flipping day of the week. So I mean, there's that. So John had
it looked awful. Okay, the video looked awful. I mean, at least to me, for what they were expecting. I mean, this is not. It was not a surprise. We've all kind of dealt with C-Faith before and their products. Marcus, you had the EX4. I had the EX4. Actually, you were kind enough to send me your EX4 to get me out of a jam when I crushed mine by accident. So that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, C-Fly just has a history of putting out pretty crappy drones. So
I was going to say, John,
DJI
has C-Fly ever put out? Has C-Fly ever released a worthy product?
Probably not. I mean, listen, the X4 wasn't terrible for the price, actually. All right. The X4 for the price at the time, if you were just wanting like a toy, like what would they sell that thing, Marcus? For like, you could get that thing for what, $120 at the time?
Yeah, I think it got as cheap as that at different
times. As cheap as that. So if somebody was just looking for something to fart around with, yeah.
Fortunately,
COVID, okay?
All the versions that I had got sent to me for free, thank goodness. So, I'm glad I didn't pay for them.
So didn't Bill Thomas have the C5, the first one, maybe? I think he did.
Not the Mini. He had the bigger one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he had issues with that also.
Yeah, he did.
So
they all have problems.
Yeah. Did you see what Michael says down here? Here, I'm going to highlight.
Let's see. What is he saying?
Crappy
fly. I like that. Crappy fly. That's a good one, man. I'm going to remember that for future shows.
So it doesn't sound like we're making much headway here with the C-Fly Faith Mini here, guys.
I think we can safely say it's not a favorite.
Not a favorite. No. Not a favorite.
Because of that price point, is any consideration at $185?
Nope.
Yeah, at 185, you might as well just go a little more up.
So, well, you know what? We always have to attribute that to you, John, because you said that. No, I'm serious. You said that about the FIMI, the original FIMI Mini when we all bought it at that time, and you said, yeah, it's a bargain, at $300 or whatever it was we paid for them, but you'd rather spend $100 more and have it actually work, right?
Yeah. Well, I think at the time though, the SE wasn't out actually though at the time that we all bought the FIMI Mini, right? Or was it?
Yeah, no,
the SE came after.
No, the SE predated the FIMI.
It did predate the FIMI Mini?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
The first SE came out in 2018, John.
FIMI Mini would have been great would have been great if it worked as well as the paper specs did, but
you wait till you see my next video on the version 2. I mean, nothing worked on it. I mean, it's it's just ridiculous.
It's just the same thing, different day.
C-Fly equals C-Cry.
There, I like that. That's a good one. Yeah, after our show.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to give up on the C-Fly Faith. I can't get anybody to have a little faith in the drone.
Yeah, Richard said $5 would be too much. There you go.
Oh man.
It's a shame, John. A company like C-Fly, has like the boy who cries wolf. They keep coming out with these drones and they keep promising, and you keep getting disappointed so many times that even if they would have put a good drone out now, they probably kind of ruined their reputation.
Yeah.
Man, don't know how much worse it can get, right?
This is kind of reminds me of, John, did you see Kelly Scherzer's video a week or two ago? SEMA sent him one of their GPS drones, John. And SEMA hasn't had too much luck with getting the GPS drones. And Kelly flew it out back of his studio building. I mean, nothing went right, John. I mean, it even though his GPS at one stay put and it was a disaster. Like the landing was a crash landing. Nothing was all good about it. And he made that video, but he followed up with another little mini rant where he said, I'm never going to take any more of these under $200 camera drones. He said they all stink.
I can't blame him, man. I gave up on a lot of that stuff a long time ago too, for much of the same reasons that he's tired and frustrated with it. I just wanted to poke my eyes out with every Wi-Fi based FPV drone that I would end up with that had all the same issues of crappy signal, and then you do the video and maybe you'd be lucky if somebody even cared to watch the stuff, to be honest with you, because at some point these toy drones, they've just fallen out of favor. People just aren't interested in this stuff anymore. I think they've fallen for it. They don't care about it, and they know to stay away from it. They're just not impressive, man.
I'm going to give you one exception that is just kind of an exception. I'd say not a full exception. But the SJRC F11 it flies pretty good. The camera is pretty stable without a bunch of jello in it, and the camera quality isn't great, but for a lot of people, it's good enough. And the thing actually flies. And when somebody buys that drone, I don't feel sorry for them because they actually will have a successful time flying it, and they'll get reasonable video, etc. But that really is the only one that I can say that you're not going to have, you're not going to have some kind of problems with, that I've tested, and God knows they've sent me tons of them.
Right.
All right. How much is SJRC paying you? Come clean with it right now.
They aren't. In fact, and let me tell you this, John. I hit our friends up at Banggood, and so John and I both know Banggood is kind of dried up. They used to send me a drone a month, and they really it's hard to even get anybody to talk to over there anymore. But John, I asked them that new SJRC F22 drone, which actually has an OTG cable to the mobile device, which is a good sign. I asked them for that, and they said, "Oh no, absolutely not. That's too expensive.
Of course,
we can't.
Of course not.
Yeah,
of course not. I was just messing around, man. No, I mean, it's good. It's good that there are still some decent toys out there, so to speak, or toy grade quads, because the market used to be better, man. You got into it when some of that stuff actually was worth farting around with, when the barrier of entry to something good, there was actually a higher one. And now
Ron,
it's just,
how much fun did we have the old days with the SEMA X5 and SEMA X8s?
Ron, I still have a SEMA X5. I don't fly it as much, but that quad is still as fun as the day I first flew it, man. Like, you could pick that up and have a blast with it. That's what we learned to fly on.
That was a lot of people's first drone, yeah.
And John, remember the excitement when the Bugs 3 came out or whatever? I mean, that Bugs 3 set the community on fire.
Oh man, it was $99 for a brushless quad. Sure, it didn't have altitude hold or GPS.
Complete manual flyer. Nobody wanted altitude hold.
Not at the time, nope.
So John, as you may remember, Ryan sent me, I think it was the Bug 6.
Yep.
But same thing, brushless motors. Hell, I could never fly that damn thing.
It was a higher barrier of entry to fly, but people enjoyed it. It was fun. It was sporty.
Oh, yeah. I can sometimes get it to hover for a little bit and then zing.
But you know, Ron,
Marcus, I think the problem, Marcus, is once you had already been on GPS drones, it would have been hard for me to fly like the Bugs 3 and the SEMAs if I had already been a GPS flyer.
You want to? Let me bring something up real quick, Ron, because you brought the SEMA up, and then I'll let Marcus speak. It's funny you bring it up, because if you think about that SEMA X5 and you compare it to that newest SEMA that Kelly just reviewed, you will have more fun if you go out and buy that original SEMA X5 than you will that stupid thing that Kelly has, simply because the X5 is bare bones basic. It doesn't do a whole lot of stuff, and for what it is, it works. SEMA creates products now that just literally don't work and frustrate the hell out of people. I don't know why they keep doing it. Like, just go back to basics. Don't try to create a product that does all these things poorly. Jack of all trades, master of none is basically what they do now.
John, what you're trying to say, don't try to be a Mavic Pro killer.
Yeah.
They all try and they all flop, because all that stuff that they advertise on it doesn't work. SEMA would have been best to stay in their lane and just focus on making a good, solid toy with a few features. That's it. They've fallen so far from where they started. I mean, go back to that Quadcopter 101 video, a million views. Your grandmother could fly this. So many people picked that thing up and enjoyed it. That's all we need. Just a little update to that. All right. Now we got to see what Marcus has.
GPS camera drones. This is the one. This is the one that you want right here. If you're looking for a bargain drone, if all you want to spend is $300, the DJI Mini SE 2.7K, excellent video. My stepdaughter flew this. That she'd never flown a drone in her life. I told her how to operate it. She took it up and flew it around, no problem. You know, it's that easy to fly. You'll have a good experience for $300.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that? I don't.
Very hard to argue with.
You know, this is Johnny talks about this once in a while. This was the drone that I took to spin up in Texas. It was the only drone that I took to spin up, and I had just as much fun as everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, and Ron and I were talking on the phone. What if that C5 Faith or one of them cheap drones did work, or you're not going to fly your Mini SE or your Mavic 3? So, you know, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, first off, it's not going to work like it says, of course.
Yeah. It's obviously, you know, that C-Fly is obviously meant for a beginner, not somebody that's already has a bunch of DJI products around.
Right.
Hey, John, do you see Intel Maxwell's comment here? The X8C was the last good one. And I think what he means by that, remember they ruined the X8s. What they put out to hold on them, they weren't good anymore.
Yeah, that is 100% correct, Ron. And I actually have a video on my channel of the X8 with the altitude hold on it that has the bug where if you put the throttle down for too long, it will just boom, shut the motors off and crash out of the sky. I still have that video up, man. Oh, I got so much crap for that too. People were telling me you're doing it wrong. You must have done something. No, that quad was played. It was just horrible. That was really the beginning of the end, Ron. Honestly, though, that really was.
Mark White from Manchester is telling us that we'll be right back after this message for us. Listen, Mark. I so wish DJI was our sponsor. That would rock, buddy.
Well, maybe we can get C-Fly.
Well,
I doubt
not so much.
Hey, we got a question to chat here from Molly55. We'll throw it to Johnny here since he's our special guest. Will we see the Mini 4 Pro anytime soon?
I don't know about soon, but we'll see it. I'm sure. You know,
Marcus.
I would be, if I was a betting man, I'd say we're a year off.
Yep.
2024. Yep.
John, 2024. Yeah.
Hey, and Joy was out there, and got a brand new drone coming out. Well, they're getting it tomorrow, so hey, fly what you got and have fun.
Or you could just fly what you have. Yep.
There you go.
Not everybody needs to go out and buy the latest drone, guys.
Yep.
The Mini 3 Pro. So I just want to back up just a little bit. That Mini 3 Pro is still such an amazing little product. And DJI keeps bringing out new features on it and stuff. So I think we've gotten a lot of life left in that drone.
Yeah, Marcus is right. It's the lightweight champion, the under 250 gram thing. I don't think anybody's ready to come around and dethrone it anytime soon.
Nope.
So.
Hey, Dr. Ted's talking about the Air 2S.
Oh, yeah? He said he got an update?
Well, no, he's saying, when are we going to see like a new Air 2S?
Oh.
But Ted, I got sent this guy. It's a payload release system for the Air 2S. We'll have to go out and try that out.
Oh,
yeah.
Now,
don't be dropping any bombs out there at the canyon.
No.
Yeah,
that's no. I wouldn't even. That's not even that funny.
Somebody's getting a new Mini 3 Pro.
Hey, Lauren wants the Mini 4 with a full frame sensor.
Yeah. Don't we all, Lauren? Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get off C-Fly and get on to topic 4, guys. Jackie Akers, our good friend with the Drone Seekers International, lost her Avada FPV drone over the weekend. It just fell from the sky, and one of her props exploded, they said. And, and the funny thing is, it was after she had lost signal. But what can be done to prevent these types of things? Check out her video. It's posted to DroneNation Facebook group page. Now, Marcus, you have actually spoken to Jackie about this flight, right?
I have. Can I answer one of the comments right
Yes.
there? Yeah, me. So I did talk to Jackie about it, and it's the same thing that we saw happen to Alexis and to Tammy Jean. Literally, a prop just exploded, and just the screws, just the two screws, were left in the motor. And she had mentioned that Dobo told her that these props, and it is a different kind of plastic. It's a harder plastic, and John could probably speak to this better than me, but here Dobo said, well, the plastic gets brittle after a while. I don't know. I think plastic would have to be, I mean, it ages, but I think it would be years before you'd have a problem like that.
And it seemed like cold weather would, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I suspect that they're just not strong enough. I just think it's a design issue. That's what I think.
Yeah, some props are more brittle than others. It really depends on what the material is made of. I've got propellers that are as small as those and have just the same size screw hole, and I have never had it split or come apart at the little seam there. It kind of seems a little thin, honestly, there, but I guess DJI is not really intending people to crash the crap out of it, so to speak. Like I don't know what happened to that Avada before.
Hey, let me tell you, John.
But we have noticed. Oh, real quick. We have noticed on the docks Avada. I'll notice that there's like a split right by the screw holes, and we've swapped that out before. That's after many crashes with it. So it can happen, I suppose.
So inspect the hell.
Just
out
inspect
of
it. Yeah.
On the
Look
Avada.
for cracks. Look for stress
Avada,
cracks. Obviously. Yeah.
I still think that there is no excuse for that. I still think DJI could build a more robust prop
Might
for
be
it.
able
And
to.
I have never I have never thought about any kind of aftermarket props before, but might be a thought for this drone.
I mean, these props are just about same kind of size screw, but look at how thick too. The pretty sure that's a little bit thicker of a shaft for them to go in. So yeah.
Now, John,
check your props,
one
guys.
eye in the sky says spinning at a certain frequency could be the culprit. Do you know what he means by that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they would have to go for a long time for it to just break from just spinning, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
So Rod is saying that he exploded one too. So Rod is saying, and then he's gone completely with master air screw.
Okay.
Yeah, might be a little stronger of a build. I mean, I'm not a plastics expert, guys. I just know that polycarbonate, props like these little clear ones, we can crash the crap out of these. It is very rare that you ever have that kind of explosion of a prop. It's almost practically unheard of with polycarbonate props like this. So
but up till recently,
I don't know what they're made of.
John, has you heard about the Avada doing that just up till recently? I mean, I know it seemed like Alexis was the first time I've ever seen it. Or
I mean, not really. Like I said, the one time I saw that there was a split prop on my friend's Avada, we changed it out, and nobody's ever had one explode since. And even put the thing to quite a few crashes. But again, it can happen. I mean, if I hadn't done that pre-flight check to see that,
it might have done.
Could it have happened? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Well, pre-flight check is important, but I'll tell you, here's my plan.
Probably a little more brittle.
My plan is I got DJI Care Refresh, so if something happened and I lost it, then boom, there you go. I still am falling back on props shouldn't explode no matter what, especially that new. So it's a design flaw.
If it was new, the only thing I can think of is, are people tightening down the props a little too much and causing stress cracks on it? Because there was a quad, the Blade 350, years and years ago, that you have to be really careful with the plastic props that came with it. If you tightened it down too hard, you could cause a stress crack, and then the prop could go flying. If it's the same kind of thing, maybe. I usually tighten my props finger tight. I never tighten it all the way down really hard.
And use thread lock, right?
No, don't use thread lock.
really?
And here's why: because thread locker eats plastic, and there's no way to stop that thread locker from getting on the props as you push through the shaft.
Well, I thought there was a special kind.
I'm not aware of a Loctite that doesn't eat plastic.
Okay.
Hey, can I bring this up? Captain Joe American contributed this, and I think Hot Rod said the same thing on a comment on one of Marcus's videos. He said, Tammy Jean says he switched from normal to sport mode while flying when it happened. Did others do the same? I can't comment on that, Joe, but I do know that Hot Rod told Marcus that same thing in video. He said, don't switch from normal to sport while you're flying. John, did you hear anything like that?
Here's what happened to Hot Rod.
Could there be a bad run of props? Maybe are we looking at that? Maybe.
And I can say in Jackie's case, hers, she flew it behind a building, had a loss of signal. The drone went into RTH.
Okay.
And the minute it went into RTH because obviously then she had first person view back. It started flipping and was gone. So
now, John? Did you see the Jackie's video? What do you make of that? Is it just coincidence that it happened?
Is there really thread locker on the screws? By the way, when you unscrew the Avada's props.
I don't know about the Avada. I do know all the other DJI drones have thread locker on them. I don't know about the Avada.
It's pretty much a known thing not to use thread locker on prop screws. I mean, I have no idea then. I mean, could be a special thread locker. I'd love to know which one does not eat plastic.
Margaret, somebody said, and this I experienced this the other day. I went to fly to Avada, and I guess I didn't realize my SD card, the little thing you pop out, where you put the SD card and stuff, it was left open. Of course, the prop it wouldn't even start the motors because it was hitting that. So if that door came open in flight or something, that definitely would make that prop explode.
So a lot of people have said that. I can tell you in Jackie's case, it was not that prop. It was one of the other.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
And I don't know.
Joe Folia adds here that Alexa never put a screwdriver.
No, she just took it out the box. Yeah,
factory tight.
So it was brand new.
Yeah, it was brand new. That's the first time she flew it, I believe.
Yeah. See, there you go. I'm telling you, it's they're defective. That's all. They're just defective. Defective may not be the right word. It's a design problem or manufacturing problem, I suppose.
Yeah.
John, Richard makes a comment about DJI designing the Avada props to make the most noise. How we us camera drone guys all think the Avada is noisy, but how does the Avada compare to the noise on a typical FPV drone?
The Avada is pretty loud.
Okay.
It's not. I don't feel it's really that much louder than your average Cinewhoop, to be honest with you. But it's not like I've been around a ton of them.
Hey, so I get Ken saying just to replace the props, and I don't have a problem with that. Ken putting like master air screws or something on there. But my question is would that affect your care refresh if something happened? I don't know. If they saw you had aftermarket props on, I don't know.
Good point, Marcus.
Yeah, I think Alexis had just taken hers out the box as far as I know. I'm not really. I think it was the first time that she flew it.
Intel Maxwell says, rule of thumb, always check your props on all your drones.
Yep.
And Maddie's Drone World said, all people know I had this issue, never touched the props when they got the Avada. It's a factory problem.
Well, mine hasn't blown up yet. How about yours, Johnny?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's good.
Yeah, mine, But you, Johnny, you think that don't switch from normal to sport mode while you're flying?
I don't know. Like I said, I've changed from all sorts of modes. Never had a problem with mine. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
So I think Rod made a good point here too. He's saying that he just took his props off when he sent it in for care refresh. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, true.
That's why Hot Rod gets paid the big money.
Big bucks, yeah. Did we ever finish this story, Marcus? Jackie was able to recover her drone. It actually landed in some weeds or a bush, so I don't think she had a lot of damage.
She didn't have much damage at all. She has since replaced all of her props, though. I can tell you that. And by the way, Ken, she did put on aftermarket props. And I asked her, I said, well, what brand are those, Jackie? She goes, I don't know. I got them for Christmas.
Yeah, she put it right back up, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, on a related note here, Philly Drone Life, Mikey lost a custom-built FPV drone this weekend out at the park. I think they lost it just kind of on takeoff, and they could not recover it. His buddy Mickey was looking all over for it with it like a Mavic 3 Pro or Mavic 3 from above, but but they're not sure what the cause was. But poor Mikey was beside himself. He spent over $1,100, and he spent more than a month with his custom build, and have it just disappear after just a couple flights. That has to be discouraging, John.
Yeah, that would be very painful to lose a quad like that, man.
Have you ever sunk a lot of time and money into a custom build?
Sure. They're quite expensive these days. You can easily spend $500, $600 building a quad. So do we know any specifics about the loss, or?
I didn't get a chance to talk to Mikey today. The only thing I did hear from a little birdie that the drone was recovered, but I don't know what kind of shape it's in.
That's good. See, I'm fairly fortunate that I haven't lost an FPV drone yet. Just some of the things that I do, I try to make sure I fly, that I can walk to go get it. I know that if I can walk where I'm flying, then I'll pretty much always be able to go get the drone. Also, these little guys are super useful. These are little battery-backed buzzers. They will beep for days. There's a little battery on there. So if you eject a battery and crash somewhere, it'll just keep beeping and beeping, and hopefully you'll be able to find it. Put something really loud on there. And then I guess if you're going to be flying over water, I say put a GPS on there. You know, if you're going to be flying over somewhere you can't get to it, or you're going to be decent ways away, throw a GPS on there. Betaflight 4.4 and 4.4.1 GPS rescue is pretty damn cool.
And John mentioned what we were talking about in pre-show that you even found a way to attach a Apple AirTag.
Yeah, it's nothing super special. Before there were all of the clips for the Avada, we were taking a 400mm battery strap, wrapping it around the battery horizontally to keep that Avada battery in there. And one of the things we started doing was the Apple AirTag, put in a little silicone case with something you can thread it through. And it's just the perfect way to hold on to the AirTag. So we thread it through there, you get your strap, your AirTag, it all holds it together. And, you know, the AirTag, I know, doesn't have super long range, but sometimes you just need to know the general area your Avada is in, and then that AirTag will help walk you right to it. So it's been a very big help, especially when you crash in tall grass.
Mm-hmm. True.
You need to tell the tall grass story, John. You can't stop there.
Oh, yeah, the tall grass story. Yeah, so my friend, the Doc, he was flying the Avada, and he crashed in like waist-high tall grass. And we got to it, but as you guys know, the Avada will shut itself off eventually to prevent it from overheating. And when it does that, you lose any beeping, you lose anything that can help bring it to you that way. So to have that AirTag where you can just get to where it is in general, pull up your phone, and I was literally able to walk to where the damn thing was with the AirTag. And thank goodness, because in that tall grass, I really was not sure where exactly it was. So huge help, huge lifesaver to have that AirTag on there.
Smart move. Hot Rod's also commenting that the Master Air Screw makes a 3-bladed prop, and it makes it easier to get your SD part out of the Avada. Now, John, how hard is it to
I use one of these? Yeah.
How hard is it to replace the props on a Avada?
Oh my goodness, it's just a few screws.
Yeah, good. The cool thing about it too is that they used Allen heads instead of Phillips head screws, because those Allen heads you're not gonna ding them up. You use the right wrench and boom.
Right.
Hey, Johnny,
And
would you show that device you had before
Yeah,
that?
it's just a little 90 degree USB-C.
The battery thing, yeah, here.
And what you do is you put that in at the slot on beside the memory card, and you plug it into your computer.
Yeah, you don't
right?
have, you're right. Plug it in a computer. Yeah.
You
the
don't pop your
cool
memory
thing
card
about
out
getting the
all time.
SD card out with these
Yeah,
is then when
Marcus
you have
has
the
his professional SD card remover there.
yeah, and then if you see a big nose hair, you just
That's a DroneNation official SD card.
Yeah,
removal.
that's a pro model,
funny.
folks.
Yeah.
We'll put a link down for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fly
He
Zone
did a
saying
video.
that they use Apple AirTags.
Hey, Mark White said earlier that he was cautioning about flying over water if you lost it over water. I got to tell you, Mark, that's one of the reasons that I got Care Refresh, because if I did, I just simply would, it's gone, but I could still get a replacement.
It's a good suggestion too. The firehouse light beeps as well. Apparently, it's another
Yeah.
good one.
Good one, Lon.
And John, I think that Jackie had a device like yours.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had it on a battery. I think she said back on a clip that holds a battery or something.
Yeah.
And sorry,
they're
folks,
very useful.
We would actually have Jackie on here to talk about herself, but it's like 3 a.m. in Spain or something. So, we don't expect to be up that late. Okay, let's move on to another story since we've got some heat on the props here or whatever. There was a very large, note to airman, NOTAM in place Saturday in London for the coronation. I'm sure a lot of drone pilots were grounded that day. Marcus or Johnny, were any of you guys at the coronation on Saturday?
One of my good friends was. I wasn't there, but
I think we know somebody that was there. Yeah,
I do. Tanya Gale.
Now, did she know that she couldn't take her drone off that day?
She just. It's funny that you mentioned that, because after she got done in London, she spent a lot of time in France. I don't know. She speaks fluent French. Anyway, she flew to Paris, and she showed a picture of UAV forecast in Paris. Trust me, you're not flying anywhere. You talk about NOTAMs. It was all just one big no-fly zone.
Well, apparently, London was almost the whole city of London was a NOTAM.
Well, which totally makes sense, right? Of course, yeah.
Almost as big as NOTAM's the Super Bowl.
Probably bigger. I'd be willing to bet.
So, so just just something to that these days or whatever, a big event like this, we get massive drone outages, which is understandable. No complaint or anything. But we got more bad news on the news from DJI in Arkansas, and I wish DeMarco was here to defend his state of Arkansas. But they joined Florida in banning DJI and other Chinese drones from being used from state and local government agencies, such as policemen and firemen. They can no longer use Chinese drones. And by that, we mostly mean, the Chinese must have knocked Johnny out there. Drones out there. And it's really a shame because now the people of Arkansas, what do they have to be rescued by, Marcus? Some Scuddios or some parrots or something?
Yeah, and so one of the things that a lot of people have, I suppose there is that parrot, the commercial version of the Anafi, I suppose, would be an option for first responders. But a drone like the Skydio, which it's a nice drone, right? I've got one back here. You cannot fly it at night. It will not fly at night because it relies on purely optical sensors to know where it's at. Well, it has GPS, but it won't even take off in low light.
Yeah. So, and a lot of these things like missing people and fire stuff actually happen at night.
Right.
Or burps on the loose or whatever. So, John, what do you think of this trend now? Florida, now Arkansas, that some of these states are just completely banning DJI drone, enterprise drones, and other Chinese drones from their first responders. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I think it's a knee-jerk reaction. Pretty much. I have a hard time really understanding grounding an entire fleet of search and rescue drones just on a whim like that. So that's my thoughts.
It couldn't be done without the proper research. You think it's more of these people, the government, local governments listen to, what do you call them? What do you call it, Marcus? What do you call the people that get the Congress and senators to do stuff? Lobbies. You think it's more lobbyists telling the stuff rather than them actually doing the hard research themselves on these drones?
Certainly speculate.
That's all speculation, but it sounds like it could be a reasonable thing. Here's the thing, and we've talked about this many times, so we're kind of beating a dead horse. But what I don't understand is that what is it about DJI drones that is a problem? I understand they're manufactured in China, and then the fear is, they say the fear is that data is going to get back to the CCP. However, I know that they've also designed them so that you can isolate them and they don't send the data out anywhere. So why you could just make a regulation that says, hey, if you're a government user, you have to isolate the drone and you just simply, you don't upload at all, don't connect it to the internet. So that way nothing goes to the CCP. Other than that, what is the argument here? I don't get it.
And remember, Bob Dempsey, old farts of drones, he pretty much talked to some representative DJI, and they assured him that all the data, from our drones doesn't go back to the server in China. It goes to Amazon servers here in the U.S.
It does. Okay, so that's okay. So say it goes to Amazon servers, and I totally believe that. That still doesn't mean that the CCP couldn't access it just because it's on a US-based server. But however, I don't. The fact that they've designed them to where they can isolate that data and it doesn't even upload to anywhere, isn't that good enough? There's something that we're missing. There's something that we're not being told. I don't get it.
Yeah, and we beat this to dead horse, but when the police and firemen in Arkansas are doing fire and rescue, maybe a missing person, an older person, or a child, or a house is burned down, what value of that is to the Chinese military that a child went missing in Arkansas?
Well, there is some value in having current data on whatever is around anywhere in the United States. In other words, there's that way that you can keep very current maps. There is value.
Why don't they outlaw Google Maps then?
Yeah, well, it's not real time, and the difference is that what you're going to get off of those drones is real time and it's data.
And Google is an American company. It's the same reason why they're going after TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese company. DJI is a Chinese company. At the end of the day, I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit here. I don't think this is that big of a deal, but let's just for argument's sake, okay? Yes, DJI can compartmentalize as much as they want and try to sell the government. Here, look, we've done this to our drones. It's only on U.S. servers. At the end of the day, the U.S. government can't get access to the full source code of those drones. Not going to happen. And second of all, the root company is still in China, and they could be compelled to get access to that data. No, and so that's the root of the problem. That's really the root of the problem. And I don't think there's anything that they can do short of selling the company to a United States company. And that's not going to happen. China is not going to ever give up their prize drone company. So
yeah, John, thank you for that insight, because that's not something that I would have that I would thought of with regard to the source code, and that totally makes sense.
Yeah, they're not going to let the United States government do a peer review on it. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to get political here, but I'm going to read Leonard Oglesby's comment here. There is a new no drone zone posted over the Kremlin.
Well, yeah. Well, we all saw the news, what happened. So,
and we all saw all people fly drones. No, it looks like they flew like some old toy drone up there.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
So, anyways, again, more. I don't know. The next state, the drop banning the DJI and other Chinese drones, such as Altel. Like it's not just DJI. The Altel Max just came out. It's a great enterprise drone, but your fire company in Florida or police department in Florida or Arkansas won't be able to buy it and use it
And they gave them to what, 2027, I think it was.
to replace them.
Yeah.
With what?
Yeah, well,
That gives some other companies 3 years to put something decent out, I guess.
Yeah, we talked about it on a Fly for Fun show the other night with Vic and Ryan, and there's no one to take his place. So yeah, what are you gonna do? It's kind
Yeah, I mean, well, John, everything you said is true, and it would be in a situation with another type of device, an American company could fill the void, but with drones, there's nobody to fill the void like in other technology segments. Like for instance, when their routers got banned. I mean,
And their
there are plenty
phones
of
and
other
all
good
that.
router companies out there that take their spot. So no big deal to consumers and businesses, but it's a different story with these drones.
Right. Yeah. It's look, DJI makes solid drone products. And that's why a lot of people are mad when these local and state bans like the one in Florida and Arkansas. Now, the one in Florida was pretty immediate, right? But I think in Arkansas, aren't they giving them some time?
yeah, like
That's what Johnny said,
2027.
yeah.
At least they're going to give them a little bit. In Florida, it was pretty much like almost overnight, right? Like I saw tweets from local municipalities saying like their whole fleets were just grounded.
Yeah, it came
So-
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, each state is doing their own thing with that. It's quite a mess.
I think
American company that wants to take on DJI. Who?
Yeah, I mean, so we can talk about Skydio. When it was a few years ago when they came out with the Skydio 2, a great drone. We thought we were on the cusp of a U.S. based competitor for DJI. They haven't done anything since. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's the same.
There it is, right there, John. 2027. That's the Arkansas law. Yeah.
If Chinese drones are wait 4 years to finish acting. I don't know. They waited a long time to do anything about TikTok too. So
Yeah. But
Yeah, so the beat goes on there with
it goes on.
the U.S. government's cracking down on DJI and Chinese drones. So where it gets to the consumer level, how soon do you think it'll reach the consumer level, John?
Pardon? I
How
couldn't hear
soon
you
do
there.
you think this banning type situation will hit consumer drones?
I don't think you're going to see this at the consumer level. I really don't. There's,
Good. All right,
Yeah.
I guess we talked that story all the way through. Now, here's another bad news story, guys. UA Forecast app, a very popular app people in the drone community use. It shows you, your airspeed, your satellites, what's the KP level. Shows a lot of useful information for pilots on
Index, yeah.
takeoff. And it's been a free app. They had paid versions, but it's been a free app for the basic version, which shows you, I think it used to show you 24 hours ahead of time or maybe even 48 hours ahead of time. Well, just recently, they have crippled the app, I think last week. Now I can only see the forecast for all these conditions 2 hours ahead in the future. And unless you start paying for the app, which starts at 99 cents a month and up to $6.99 for the professional plan, you don't get to see anything but now and up to 2 hours ahead of time. But many in the community are switching to Air Data, which provides a lot of information for free. I think Air Data actually has more information, but just for me, the screen's not as easy to read. But that's only because I started UAV. You start with Air Data. I'm sure you may think that's easy to read. Marcus, we had a conversation about this briefly today. What were your thoughts on it? Were I thought kind of spot on.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I only use it for current data anyway. I never did use it to try and forecast and look out when I was going to fly. Quite frankly, I simply looked at the weather report, my local weather report. So that isn't a big deal for me. And the reason that I use it now, quite frankly, is I take a screenshot so that when I post videos, people can see the conditions at the time that I was flying, just for reference.
Good. Yeah, I like that. Johnny, are you a UAV user?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way with Marcus. I mean, I just check, but you know, I've been using air data pretty regular here lately.
How do you like air data, Johnny?
I do. I like it. I like it because you know you can actually there's a free version up to 100 I think flights, and then you can buy it pretty reasonable to add more. So I know Captain Joe uses it. I know he's always checking it out there where we fly, so it's pretty neat. I know Dre Crawford really loves air data. He's a big air data.
John, are you a user of these apps to get your conditions before takeoff?
I'm like Marcus. For the most part, I've looked up, what my weather report is going to be through AccuWeather, the National Weather Service, that kind of thing. I will throw in Windy. Windy.com is also pretty cool to use.
I've heard that one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I did download UAV Forecast long time ago, back when I thought that the KP index really mattered for
and it doesn't anymore, does it?
And it really just doesn't. That's pretty much the day that I stopped using UAV forecasts and stuff like that. I will say the air data app is nice. Like, seems like it's got a lot of nice information. I just got it today because of your show notes, Ron. So, because like I said, honestly, I just use windy.com or I use my local weather report. But the app is nice. The only annoying thing was I didn't like that I had to make an account to get access to the basic stuff. But
really?
Whatever.
I forgot that. Huh?
Yeah, you have to make an account. Like UAV Forecast, they don't force you to have an account and all that crap.
Well, until they force you to pay now if you want anything more than the right now weather. But
it was interesting. They said free forever. It's going to be free forever on the sign up form. I'm not sure about that.
So one of the things that I was kind of amused by on the Part 107 test that we all took was all they put a lot of emphasis on being able to read METARs, etc.
Yes.
And I just don't think, as a drone pilot, I don't think I totally understand why manned aircraft need to understand all those kind of details and almost be weathermen themselves in being able to look and see. But flying the drone and read those METARs and TAFs, etc. However, as drone pilots, you go outside and you look out and you go, well, is it raining? Is it windy? Yeah, I guess I can fly.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of that, the Part 107 test was, aimed towards, when I say professional, I don't mean somebody has a YouTube channel. I mean somebody that maybe has a job 3 or 4 days away, and they want to know if they can, like somebody hires you to fly a drone on a job on Friday, it's Monday.
That's a good point.
They want you to tell the people I can fly that day or not.
So it's doing power line checks and so forth. But now they're automating so much of that now. There's all these companies are coming out with their automated launch systems and so forth. That if you're a power company, there's not even anybody operating that drone. It just goes out and takes off and does whatever. So how do they feed that data to that? Does that launch bay? Does it get
to have his own UAV account? Does it have his own account with UAV?
Well, all kidding aside, there may be an automated system that they feed it whatever the weather is that day, and it'll know whether it should take off or not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just so that's a couple ideas out there. If you need the weather ahead of time and you don't want to pay for the UAV forecast, there's air data. And John said Windy's very useful. And like Marcus said, just your local news, forecast could be of a big help for a couple hours ahead or day ahead of time.
There's a great app that comes on my phone. It's called the Apple Weather app.
I've heard of that one.
No, that app is terrible. Actually, I'm not impressed with the Apple Weather app. I don't trust it. I mean, I use it for a very rough look at the weather, but yes, I find it's wrong more often than not.
The opposite.
Yeah, I find it wrong for my area. It could just be where I am. Yep.
I'm telling you, it is so accurate for me. It will tell you that it's going to start raining in 10 minutes, and you can set your watch on it. In 10 minutes, it starts to rain, and it'll tell you rain stopping in 5 minutes. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, the rain has stopped.
My radar.
Yeah, nope.
The best radar.
Mine's not like that.
Best weather app is My Radar. Cool, very cool.
And you guys do know that my favorite weather app I forget what it was called now, but Apple purchased it and they integrated it into their weather app now. We used to be one of the top weather apps. So I forget.
Yeah.
What
So
it was.
Andrew is saying in the chat right now that Apple weather is based on the Weather Channel, and I think I knew that. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I want to get this in real quick. We kind of moved on from the topic, but Bill Gray says there is a campaign to revoke the DJI FCC licenses, which would burn all DJI drones. That's the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
That would be bad.
Yeah, listen, I was kind of quick to dismiss the possibility of stuff like that not trickling down to consumers because, yeah, that's absolutely a possible threat. And again, if you think about what's going on with TikTok and all that stuff there, I've given it a thought. Could they start to come after DJI using all the same kind of things? There's always that possibility.
And Richard said China could force DJI to brick all DJI drones in the U.S. overnight.
I mean, yeah. They could,
yeah.
But
they're not doing it in the war zones right now. I mean, seriously, that was serious. I mean, if they were going to do it, wouldn't that be the time to do it?
Yeah.
There's risks to what they do, and their drone company is a powerhouse, and despite the fact that they have full control of it, they don't want to ruin the brand either. So they have interest in not screwing with it. So wherever possible, of course.
Good night, Joe Fotoli. The kid's long day. Joe's
we can have these discussions here on Drone Nation, thankfully, because none of us are sponsored by DJI.
Yeah,
true. or
unlike some other
the U.S. government.
I see a lot of people are saying that My Radar is the one to use.
My Radar.
That's what
We have to look into that. I paid for Radar Scope a long time ago for just general.
Yeah,
because we have to watch the radar here for tornadoes.
Really accurate.
Oh, good. That's good information. Thank you.
Also, a Chinese company that provides electronics for most cars nowadays.
Well, if you're saying Taiwan Semiconductor, who makes 90% of the semiconductors chips that we use and everything, although they are Taiwan based.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's a good point, but
Dynasty Drones is getting their DJI Pro wood fly more kit tomorrow morning before noon.
Ooh.
Hey, everybody.
Shipping Nation. Sorry.
Yeah. I did some Facebook groups don't like people posting like their drones arrived or whatever, shipping dates.
Hey, John, so you had mentioned earlier that one of the solutions would be if somebody bought DJI. Let's just spitball for a second. Who could that possibly be? What U.S. company?
Maybe the four of us putting our money together and doing a takeover DJI.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, yeah. Ron, you got more money than I thought.
Well, shit. I definitely don't have enough. Guys. Sorry, guys. Not enough.
You got $1 billion bill in there?
No, but let's think of consumer electronics companies that could.
You know who I've heard tossed around? I've heard the name Apple tossed around previously, but I don't think that they would ever want all of the BS that comes along with owning a drone company. Okay, because any large American company like Apple that buys it will have to deal with all the crap that comes along with it. And you know exactly what I mean. The issues where they end up flying at sports games and, all the privacy crap. They have, I just don't see them ever getting into it. But they would have the money to probably do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cash, yeah.
Microsoft too could do it if they wanted to.
Yep.
So if not an American company, what about a Korean company like Samsung, perhaps, or Sony, perhaps? I wonder if that satisfies
a Japanese company. Yeah.
Yep, they could possibly do it.
Okay, well, let's move on to topic number 10 here. Then we're going to end with topic 9. Topic 10, the DJI Action 3 got a firmware update last week. That once again, they say it improves the video quality of the camera. Only anybody on this panel has an Action 3, but it's good to see them keep working at it and improving the video quality. You guys didn't get anything for the Action 2, right?
Not that I'm
Johnny
aware of.
Martin,
Although I
um,
seldom hook my Action 2 up to the internet, so it
Yeah.
may. I'll have to try and see because
I only got this for the Action 3. I didn't hear anything for the Action 2.
Well, there's only one way to find out, Ron.
Yep. Fire that thing up. So while Marcus is firing that Action 2 up to see if you got the update, let's open at number 9 at the last topic. Is the DJI Avada, is it the best way to get started with FPV if you're a camera drone guy, or is it the worst way to get started with FPV? And I'll let John go first.
I think it's a great way to get started. If you're a camera drone guy and you're used to flying DJI stuff, you'll be right at home with it, honestly. You'll get up in the air, it'll be flying. It's not going to fall apart like the DJI FPV drone the second you crash into something. I'm kind of exaggerating there, but you get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, John, did you ever think you'd be on a show with us three talking about FPV?
No, you guys were so resistive to it. You guys were so resistive to doing FPV. I've been trying for years. And Ron, I know you tried. You got a Tiny Hawk kit. Couldn't get it to bind or something like that.
John has been on my ass forever.
Well, I have.
John, I've actually Johnny and I both. I've had the Tiny Whoop FPV kits, for a couple years back or whatever. But I never really could get those things working right. I could never really see right out of the goggles. So there was no inspiration for me to step up when what I had currently really wasn't working well for me.
Downloading firmware, Ron.
I have
firmware.
I have a Tiny Hawk, and the Tiny Hawk I had, I just never, when they say you get it or it hits, and it just never hit me. But hey, I'm really having fun with the Avada, and hey, whether it's real FPV flying or not, I know I'm having fun. So
too many people worry about that crap. You know what I say? Just have fun. Just fly what you want. Have fun. If you're having fun with it, who gives a crap? Like people need. I'm gonna get on a soapbox for a minute here. People need to stop with some of the gatekeeping. Like, you fly some real FPV. You're not flying a real drone. Like, stop with that crap.
Yeah.
If the Avada and the DJI FPV drone have gotten a lot of people flying FPV, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. More people flying is a good thing. So, and to crap on what somebody's starting with right out the gate is just rude and annoying to me. And it just discourages people from continuing on, because that person that buys the Avada, they may just look at what else is out there. Right. They may look into building their own. And the people who don't have it in their bones to do the do-it-yourself thing, no, they're probably never going to do it. And that's fine. That's fine. So there's my rant. There you go.
Yeah, and John, we talked about when the FPV drone first come out, DJI original, when they called POS or whatever, everybody was whacked about the price because, you broke it down and there's going to be about $500 for the drone, $500 for the goggles, $500 for the control. Maybe the controller, not so much, but same thing with the Avada. At least once you got the goggles, you got the motion controller too, of course, came with the Integra.
I think the most annoying thing about the DJI FPV drone, though, Johnny, is that the camera on it sucked. Let's be honest. The camera on that thing sucked. You weren't really going to do anything amazing with it. Whereas the Avada is actually really friggin' good.
Yeah.
It's a great camera setup. It's literally the O3 Air unit. So there's that. And then also, the durability left a lot to be desired. People were buying that thing, and I remember the first day, there were destroyed DJI FPV drones all over the groups. And we called it. I remember we called it. Looked pretty plasticky, remember?
Yeah.
And sure enough, it broke. I didn't see a million broken Avadas once they started getting into people's hands. Right. I did not see that. I don't know about you guys, but so they addressed the two main things.
Right.
So what they're saying here on this update, just to tell you what's going on, is they're updating it to add gyro data, so you can use gyro flow.
Yeah,
very nice.
That was a pretty. I think it was,
might have been a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. That's what I'm trying to say.
Firmware Nation.
Well, thanks for the update.
Well,
Mark.
It's updating now.
It's nice that DJI's added stuff to like that. I never thought that they would ever have something that would work with an open source product. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, John, that brings up a good question. Do you use GyroFlow?
I do not, because I don't do a whole lot of cinematography, to be honest with you, as far as my FPV stuff goes. I will throw my Insta360 Go on there and just go fly. And 90% of the time, I'm just flying right through my OG Air unit or Vista. I'm not looking to create anything amazing, so to speak.
So John, maybe you can explain what GyroFlow is, because maybe there might be some people that don't know. So
yeah, GyroFlow is an app where you can take video and then take the gyro data that's recorded along with that video, put it into the program, and stabilize the footage. And it is completely free and open source. And you can do that with Avada footage. You can do that with GoPro. You can do that with all sorts of video. And you can even do it when the camera that you're using doesn't have a gyro, because if your drone has your custom built drone has, which they all do, you can take that gyro data, line it up with the camera video, and get some stabilized footage. So, but you have to be careful with doing that. I'm really simplifying the process, but gyro flows are really cool.
Me like it'd be kind of a bitch, right? Syncing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. I think it's gotten a little easier, but yeah, it's really cool that DJI thinks that far with that.
One Osmo down.
Yep.
One more to go.
So Marcus, to the question, do you think the DJI Avada is a good place to get started with FPV if you're a camera guy or just a noob, somebody that's never done it before?
Well, I mean, it surely has been for me. I mean, John knows this. We've talked about it many times. I never would pick up an FPV drone if not for the Avada. It just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, for that. And let me add, I understand what diving is, and I'm not going to say that I did a dive like you guys do, but I was messing around with it yesterday. And I was telling you about the cell phone tower. I came over the top of it, and with the button on the back, and then I can't remember, pull back or push down to go down. But anyway, I went down, and man, that baby dropped like a rock, and it looked like you're going straight to the ground. It was pretty cool. And I'm sure part of that, John, is probably just pointing the camera down. Correct? It's not the drone maybe necessarily pointed straight down.
Oh, well, I mean, when I do a dive, I dive with the drone. The whole drone goes down.
Yeah, no. I get it on the real FPV, but I'm talking about the Avada.
Oh, well, I've done that with the Avada too. When I'm in full manual, I'll just
in manual, yeah.
Do an actual, yes, in full manual, yes.
Dude, I can't go into manual with this thing.
Yeah, I know. You can't really, I don't know how you would simulate, I don't know how you begin to do that with that.
My point is, I guess that I was trying to say is it's a drone experience that I never had until the Avada. That's what I'm trying to say.
And like I said, I'm glad you guys are all doing FPV.
Hey, John, have you had a chance to use the motion controller and the DJI FPV controller? What's your thoughts on both those controllers and differences?
Yeah, I've used the motion controller 1 and 2 and the FPV stick controller, Ron. I actually have a video that I uploaded last year of me flying full unrestricted manual mode on the Avada with the stick controller. Oh, wow. Obviously, I'm completely at home with the stick controller. It's what I'm used to. It definitely gives you the most freedom to do whatever the hell you want. But I got to tell you, the motion controller is just fun to pick up and fly. It's one of those things that when I first looked at it, I'm like, the hell is this? But then you start flying with it. It's fun. It's a fun experience.
It is, yeah.
And it's easy to hit gaps too. Like you put that dot right on it, you pull that trick, you pull the trigger. You have to actually pull the trigger to make it go.
Mm-hmm.
And then it hits the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but John, that's one of the things that, I mean, for an idiot like me,
it was so intuitive.
Makes it idiot proof, right? Because all you do is I mean, I was flying places with it yesterday that Ron and I were talking about this. I'd think twice with any of my camera drones, but again, you just put that little dot on where you want it to go, and that's where it goes.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. It's pretty cool. DJI did an interesting job with it.
Yeah, and you know, for me, like we started the conversation early. Like I've already been to the point where I know, what's the app that people use for the custom built drones, the tuner drones, John?
No, beta
Yeah,
flight.
Beta
I've
flight.
already
Yeah.
I already knew enough that I was never ever going to fold beta flight. I'm not a good
Aw.
solder or whatever, so I'm not going to custom build drones with soldering. So none of that was ever going to happen for me. So
Well, we'll see. You said you would probably never fly FPV, and now you did. So we'll see. Who knows?
when
We'll
I
see.
said I'd never fly FPV is when before DJI come up with the easy button, easy kit.
Hey, John, I think we all said we would never get our 107. We got our 107. We probably all said we're not going to fly FPV. We got FPV, so hey,
we also said we'd never pay a lot of money for a drone, and
yeah,
That's true. And then look what
I
happened.
never said that. I never
a
said
lot of
that.
us said we'd never have a whole bunch of drones.
I never said
I never
that.
said that.
No,
I never said that.
Alexis is in the house. Hey,
She must have heard us talking about her in Florida.
Man, the chat is on fire about the ban issue, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean some great comments. I mean, guys,
Yep. I'm seeing all of it.
I think it's all political.
Eddie News is saying a Loft is a good app for weather too. That's
Loft is good. Yeah,
you can also fly the drone without her and stuff too. So
FPV.
Yeah, so
almost 8:30, Ron.
Yeah, I'm glad John brought that point. That's good. John brought the point. A lot of people say, well, you're not really flying FPV unless you built a drone yourself and you're flying an acro. But that's not really true.
No, I mean we can recognize that there are limitations to flying the Avada versus flying a custom built drone.
Sure,
no question. Anybody who says that there aren't is just lying to you. But you are flying FPV and you're having fun, so who cares?
Yeah, well, hey, a bind and fly is the same thing as a Avada. Basically, you bind it and fly.
Yeah.
Hey.
And John, the Integra goggles are the first time I've ever had goggles on that not only fit me well, but I could see clearly through. I mean, really, I can see better through the Integra goggles than I can just looking regular. So I've never had that experience before.
Oh, really? That's interesting. So wait, you tried the V2 goggles though too, right, Ron?
The bigger V2s, and not that they were terrible, but they felt heavy in my head. I could see, but I couldn't see crystal clear.
Yep.
I'm
still rocking those for now.
Just because they fit me well doesn't mean they fit the next guy well. Just because I can see well through them doesn't mean the next guy. Goggles are a very personal type of thing, just like glasses, I guess.
John, you liked the Integra though, didn't you? Didn't you like the Integra?
I did. Overall, I liked what they did with the Integra. I mean, it's hard for me not to because the goggle 2 were just unusable for me, man. I've said this before. Right. All the corners were blurry, and they also had occlusion too. Like I could see the round corners. What's the term for that again, Marcus? The Femies have it. The dark corners. What is that term? Help me out here.
If you hadn't have said that, I'd been able to tell you.
The dark corner, vignetting. That's what it's
called.
Vignetting.
Yes.
But like
optics are just a disaster
to make them look better.
Me, dude. Yeah. And that's despite the fact that they have the diopters.
We got a sighting in the house tonight, Johnny. I see Rodney Bell in the house tonight.
Whoa.
Yeah, I see Rodney.
You don't often see the great Rodney Bell in here.
Rodney's flying FPV. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I know. He's been working on them for years, huh?
He's
got his skills up.
Yeah. The only disappointment I have with the Integra is I kind of wish they didn't remove the ability to change the antennas. That was annoying.
Oh.
It's the only disappointing. It's fine if you're just gonna fly the Avada, I guess. But it's annoying that they removed that ability to change those antennas out.
Huh. I have a kind of a dumb question here, John. I got one of my RC cars out over the weekend, right? I'm riding around the backyard and I think, you know what? I got these really good goggles now. I wonder if I could could you put like a DJI air unit on the on an RC car and get that good, camera reception back to
Absolutely. People have been doing that for a while now, Ron. Actually, There's I think Henry the RC Car is a channel on TikTok, and they put DJI's air unit on there, and they'll literally drive that guy around. Yeah, you do have to do something about the cooling though.
Oh,
Normally you have to put a little fan, heat sink,
okay.
stuff like that, because those things get hot, really
Okay.
hot. So you got to do something for cooling. But
Even
no, people
the
do
RC
that.
car goes pretty fast. It gets a lot of wind cooling coming through there, right?
Yeah, it depends on where you have it mounted to, I suppose.
And how hot it is. Yeah, if it's the
But no, people
9-degree
do that,
day
Ron.
in the summer, yeah. But if it's
People
a
do that, Ron.
50-degree day in the spring,
I've thought about doing it. I've thought about doing it myself, honestly, a few times, but just I never got around to it. You know what they have? You know what they have now, Ron? They have this really interesting thing called Cloud RC, and it's literally a 4G or LTE transmission, and these people drive the cars with an LTE connection or a 5G connection. It is amazing, dude. It is absolutely amazing. They can drive these cars for miles. They're doing it only in China right now.
They can go.
Yeah, they basically have infinite range with it. And I guess the latency is pretty high, but because you're just kind of driving a little RC car truck, it doesn't matter that much. Like I'm amazed. I'm amazed to see what they do with it.
Hey, well,
now they have drones that you can fly with LTE as well, but those are typically off. Consumers can't get access to those, right?
Thanks for that information. I mean, I don't know if I do, but I'll look into it. Hey, we didn't bring this up with you, John. I think we talked about it last week. What do you think about the DJI allowing the goggles and the motion controller to work with some of the camera drones, such as the Mavic 3 series of drones and the Mini 3 Pro?
I think that's not flying real FPV, Ron. What the hell do they do that for? I mean, obviously, no, it's good. I think it's good. Just more options to be able to fly your stuff, right? Totally solves the sun problem. Yes. I'm curious how it's going to actually work. Like, how does it actually work, all this stuff? I haven't watched any videos yet.
I've seen a couple, and Johnny, you've done it twice, right?
Yeah, I've flown it a few times because when I first got my Avada, I didn't have but one battery. My fly mode kit was dragging a few days behind. So yeah, I did fly the Mini 3 Pro, and I mean, I just hope people don't start trying to, shoot gaps and all that stuff, because I think they'll be sending a lot of drones in to carry refresh. But under certain, get to go up a little bit and have fun and fly it with the motion controller.
Question, Johnny. Mm-hmm. So do you have the same dot when you're flying the Mini 3? In other words, can you send the Mini 3 that where that dot is where the drone goes?
You could, but I wouldn't do it,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Patty. That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, just have fun, man. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Johnny, the next question is, did you have obstacle avoidance on when you tried that?
I did.
And did it keep you from doing anything you wanted to do?
I mean, I really was way up high. I didn't really do a whole lot of, and I just made sure I went up because I didn't want to. I think you could easily. I mean, the Mavic 3, of course, has the 360 optical avoidance, so that would be a whole different than a Mini 3 Pro. I mean,
I'm going to try it with the Mavic.
I feel really bad crashing my Mini 3 Pro just trying to fly with a Motion 2 controller. When I really don't think there's a really need to do that, but that's just my opinion.
So now when you guys are when you're connected, you can access all the camera settings and whatnot with the joystick from the Integra.
Same way you would do it with the Avada, identical.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Makes sense. Yeah, that's the problem with the drone mask.
Near the same these days to just buy and fly than build your own drone.
Cost instant. Yeah. Yep.
But
at least when you build your own, you do get to command the exact parts you want. Some people, that's still important.
Right. True.
I would say the hardest part is not necessarily the cost, it's just getting all the parts you need in stock. That's what can be a pain in the ass about building a drone today. Just getting all the individual parts. At least when you buy it B&F, it's all there. It's just built for you.
Right.
It's funny how we see a whole bunch of comments in the chat thanking Marcus about the Action 2, doing the Action 2 update. And the story was about the Action 3, but it seems like it's one of those things where even though the Action 3 is the one it's talked about on YouTube, most people have the Action 2. They don't have the Action 3.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was really not a big deal to upgrade to the Action 3. That's just,
Yeah.
I love the Action 2.
Yeah. Hey, Nunes says he loves his DJI FPV drone with the GoPro. And a lot of people have done those mods where they put the better cameras on top to get a better look.
I put the 360 Go too on one. So yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of people have to do it because the camera sucked. But with the Avada, you don't really have to do that unless you just want that GoPro look for some reason.
So, Ron, what do you think? We've been at it for over an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think we've covered all our topics tonight. Does anybody in the panel have anything else they want to bring up or add to anything we talked about tonight, or just anything, not even subjects that we talked about tonight? Johnny?
No, I just want to thank you for having me on. And John, it's always glad to get your insight, of course, about FPV. And, hey, John's, he's a wealth of information for FPV, and he's willing to help almost anybody. I know that for sure. I know we called him. I think my son-in-law was flying, and I was asking John a question. So, yeah, great guy. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate
it. Johnny, you got a show come up Wednesday night. Who do you have on Fly for Fun this week?
Who do I have? I got Draymond Crawford and Lance Cedena.
Oh, wow. Lance was in chat here just a minute.
Yeah, right? Lance is in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dre, catch up with Dre. He's been busy and see what he's got going.
And Lance, he's flying out of Avada like crazy out there where he lives.
He is.
So
Marcus's cousin Dre there. We're going to get.
Yeah, Dre. What time is that show on Wednesday night, Johnny?
7 p.m. Eastern time.
There you go. There you go. And I want to thank John for being our special guest tonight, helping us out with some of these topics, especially some of the more difficult FPV subjects. So thank you, John.
Appreciate it, Ron. It's always great to hang with you guys. Johnny, Marcus, Ron, you guys are all good people. It's awesome. Always a pleasure to be here. I'm humbled.
Thank you. Thank you. Marcus?
Well, just like what Johnny just did, I want to thank John for coming on tonight. Your insights into some of these issues are always, you bring a perspective often that I don't think about. And so I appreciate that, John. Thank you for coming on. And we covered a lot of topics tonight. So yeah, it was good. Hopefully we'll all get some decent weather. I'm looking forward to that Mavic 3 Pro showing up tomorrow, and I'm charging batteries for that, guys.
We just hope a giant rain cloud doesn't follow the UPS truck to Boise, huh, when the drone comes.
There you go, Ron. So yeah, that's about it.
Great, thank you. So like I said, great panel tonight, and special thanks to John Cuppi and Johnnie DroneFlyer for joining us tonight. And DeMarco should be back with us next week, unless there's a T-ball championship game in Arkansas.
Do I get DeMarco's check for the night? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Well, no, what you get is babysitting duties or whatever. He's wife's out of town for a couple weeks, so he may need you a couple nights this week.
Yeah,
Johnny.
I'm gonna fly out there and watch the kids.
You just take your pillow and PJs, and they got a sofa ready for you.
No, he's gonna try to pay me in almonds.
Well, I hear almond prices are up this month, John.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Johnny, Marcus took the money out of the DroneNation bank account and already spent it on that Mavic 3 Pro, man. Nobody's getting a check for a while. That's the truth. Sorry, Ron. I just exposed it.
Hey, I would do it for free.
Don't worry. Nobody's watching anymore anyways now. So
that's true. Everyone closed the show off.
Everybody went to bed. Yeah. So I want to thank especially the chat. I especially want to thank everybody that gave us a super chat. Love you guys. You guys are our top guns out there in chat. Thank you all so much for doing this and leaving all your great comments and your support and supporting all the
every one of them.
Support all the drone shows out there, like the Fly for Fun show, Build a Drone Review, or all the shows. Too many to even mention. Whatever. You guys,
you can still have 50 people, Ron. You guys still have 50 people watching, even at the end of the hour.
Out there.
Yep.
So we will see you next Monday. I don't know who the guest is next Monday. And I may know Marcus, but I got my weeks confused. But we have a guest that's never been on the show before. coming on real soon. A guy we got to
good.
meet in Florida, right, Marcus?
That's true.
good.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been on a drone show before. So
That
great
could
guy, and in fact, we have to get on a conference call with him.
We do,
soon, Marcus. But anyhow, we teased it too much. Good night, and fly safe, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.